Avine Church, we're here with Tom Schell, who's on Parish Council, and he's been the key person driving our Connect Building Renewal over the past, 3-4 years almost. And we're finally getting to the money end of this project, literally. So Tom, it's great to have you giving us an update today. As we said last month, it is happening, isn't it?
It is. We're getting there.
What's been happening over the past couple of months?
So kind of maybe three big things that are happening. So the first one is we actually got approval from the Diocese Standing Committee. So that's the oversight board that allows us to do certain things. They've allowed us to go out and get a loan. So we haven't got a loan yet, but they basically said you could go out and get one for up to $1.3 million. I think the other two things that have really happened this month are we've actually finalized our construction drawings. We haven't, but our architects have. So we actually have drawings that are ready to be built.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we're actually submitting our final documentation to council this month.
Yeah, fantastic.
So a lot of good things going on.
Great. Now, we have made some changes to what we said we were going to do at the end of last year. Can you share, or just one major change, can you share what that change is?
It's not so much a change, it's a pivot.
That's just a clever way of saying a change.
No, I like to think of it as a pivot, but basically, one of the things that we've been considering, and it has been a consideration for a long time, is whether to do the project all in one go or to kind of break it up into two different stages. And when we initially submitted our DA, we actually had a stage DA. And we're kind of going on down that path. And the reason behind that is one of the requirements from the diocese is that we have the full amount of the contract that we're going to be building in our bank account before we actually commence building.
Yep.
That number is around 4.2 million. We're sitting around $3.5 million. And that's because, as you guys recall, we have a 3-year giving program. We still have a few more years of that program left. So there's a shortfall. Our project managers have come to us and said, well, you could actually commence construction, but just stage it. So we're going to proceed down that path.
So that is a pivot because it's not a major change because we're still aiming for what we are going to get right at the end. It's just what's the means by which we're going to get there. What are the benefits to doing a staged approach?
Yeah, so in terms of the staging, the majority of the works are intended to happen on stage one.
Yeah.
So what does that entail? It entails basically everything on the property minus the actual church building. And the reason behind we avoiding the church building at the moment is that's the most heritage-rich element of this property. And as you begin to go in and unpack what's behind the actual church infrastructure, the foundation, it could get costly.
Yeah.
So our project managers have said from a risk standpoint, why don't you focus on the hall, focus on the rectory, focus on the bathrooms, the kitchen, the outdoor backyard area, the foyer. So that's kind of the focus. And I think the other element is right now is a very good time to go to market for a builder. There's demand out there, and so with that demand means that we can negotiate a more cost-effective proposal or contract with that respective builder or builders. And at the same time, it also lends us the opportunity to kind of give back to the economy, which I think right now allows us to do it, and most importantly allows us to kind of commence work as soon as this fourth quarter probably.
You were sharing with me that if the money does come through, if we get there before we even finish construction, we'll do the church.
Yep. So what that really means is if money continues to come in, because money will continue to come in, whether it be through grants or giving or whatnot over the next year or two, we could actually, so what we'd actually do is go to tender on both stage one and stage two. And then if that money comes in, authorize the builder to commence construction on the actual church building itself. So there is a possibility we do them both at the same time, but we'll just start work on stage one right now.
So Tom, what's the timeline? Where are we going over the next couple of months? You've been like, you won't give us any dates, but you are ready to give us some dates now.
Broadly speaking, I'll give you some dates. I won't tell you what year they're in, but So I think we could think of it in months now, which is really quite exciting. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, by the end of this month, we'll have issued our documentation to council. We don't think there's going to be any issues with that, which is good. Next month, we'll actually go to tender for our builder. So I think we're going to probably go out to 5 to 8 different builders. It takes them about 6 to 7 weeks to come back to us. And what they do is basically they look at all the construction drawings and actually give us a cost to do the work. From there, in August, we'll probably select that bidder, finalize a contract in September with the diocese's approval, and then commence construction in October. So
that's pretty awesome.
I'm not going to tell you which year, but no, October 2020. That's what we're aiming for. There's still there's obviously steps to be taken, but we're confident. We're mildly confident that that's going to happen.
And so just a reminder, we've got a lease locked in with the White House Institute just around the corner. I can see the building from where I'm sitting on the church grounds right here, for a really good space for us to move church off to in October. They're ready for us to go at any time. So really exciting. That's months away, but we still got a couple of milestones to hit before we get there. What can we be doing?
I think there's 3 things, right? I think the first one is funding. So I think one of the big hurdles that we still need to get over is getting that loan. The original request for the bank was 1.3 million, but that was in February, and things have changed. Credit's tightening. We have a meeting in the next couple of weeks to discuss this. So if you could be praying for that, that would be great. The second one is just around the continued generosity of this church. You guys, you've personally blown me away in just terms of the generosity you've given to this initiative, and we're optimistic that will continue to happen.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, we've received a couple of grants already for the project, and it'd be great if we get a couple more of those, because that really does have material impact on our ability to construct.
Yeah.
So I think the funding element's one. I think two, I've always been a big proponent of this build project around our engagement with the community. When fences start going up and construction goes, this is going to be an opportunity for us to even further engage our community. And obviously, once those fences come down and the property opens, how could we be doing that? So just be praying for that. Be praying for, Toby and I and a number of other individuals are engaging with multiple consultants on a daily, weekly basis. And so just allowing us to shed light to them, right? And thirdly, just the discernment element, right? There's going to be a lot of decisions that are going to be made by Parish Council, by our project managers, by our architects, by builders in the next couple months.
Yeah. So that's it. It's happening. It's months away, Vine Church. We are so excited. Be praying, particularly for Parish Council, for Tom in particular, and the decisions we're making. If you're able to honour the pledge you made last year, or you're new at church and you want to give to this project, we'd love for you to do that. It's June 30 coming up. It's tax deductible giving to this project, so if you want to take advantage of the tax deduction, that'd be great. But this is happening. Keep us in your prayers. God bless you. Have a great week.